Hi everybody, this is John Lortz from DiscoverSkills.com, back with another quick tip for you today. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about updating the Adobe Reader program. Now, if you're not familiar with it, the Adobe Reader program is a free program that is installed on just about everybody's computer that allows you to read what are called PDF files. PDF stands for Portable Document Format, and it's a very, very common way for people to share documents across the internet because it allows people to create graphical looking documents and yet still have other people on other computers open them, print them, and read those documents. So almost everybody has it on their computer, but one of the questions I get asked all the time is folks will see little tiny pop-ups in the corner of their taskbar down here where I'm moving my mouse right now that will say there are Adobe Reader updates available. Do you want to update, yes or no? And so they see these all the time and they're wondering what the heck is going on. Well, what the deal is, the Adobe Reader program is so common that it has become a big target for hackers and virus makers to try to exploit. And because of that, Adobe seems to be constantly trying to keep up with making it secure and providing you with updates just to keep the thing secure all the time. That's part of the reason you see so many updates. So the point is that when you see these updates occur down in the corner, you should always do them because usually they do have to do with some type of a security issue. Now, what I'm going to show you here is how you can actually go out and update your Adobe Reader program manually. If you're someone who, for example, has turned off these little notifications in the corner so that it doesn't automatically tell you when updates are available, you can still go out to Adobe and you can update the Reader program manually. And one reason I'm going to show you this today is because just recently, in the last couple days, in fact, there's been a newest security alert that tells us that we need to go out and make sure that we get our Adobe Reader updated. So I'm going to show you the manual way to do it. And I'm going to first of all open up my browser window. Okay. So we'll click on Google Chrome here, which is my browser. And then up at the top, I'm going to go ahead and click my mouse. And I'm going to go to Adobe. So we'll type in www.adobe.com. And we'll head over there. Once you're at Adobe, you can scroll down the page just a little ways. And you'll see that they have the downloads available right here off of their top page. The Adobe Reader, the Flash Player, which is another common Adobe program that a lot of you have on your computer, a little player to play animation on the internet. The Adobe Air program, which allows a lot of the new little programs that you might purchase or get from the internet to work. And then another animation or another program related to web page animation called the Adobe Shockwave Player. But today we're focusing in on the Adobe Reader. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. And it's going to take me to the download page. Now, on the download page, it'll show me what version of the Adobe Reader is currently available. And you can see here that the Adobe Reader version 11, and it's actually 11.0.02 is available. And if you ever want to know if you have the latest version on your computer before you go and download this, one thing you can do, and I'm going to go ahead and do this, is go to my Start button and go into your programs and manually start up the Adobe Reader. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the Adobe Reader on the Start menu and click on it, the one that I have. And when it opens up on the screen, you can see here it is. You can always find out the version of the software you have by going to the Help drop-down menu and then looking for About that program name. In this case, About the Adobe Reader. So I'm going to go ahead and go click. In this window, if I look around carefully, I can see somewhere the version number. In the case of the Adobe Reader, it's right down here at the bottom. So the version I have is currently 10.1.6. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back out, and we'll close the Adobe Reader and back to my browser window again. And you can see that the version I have is quite a bit older than the one that's available up here. So yes, it is time for me to do an update. So let's take a look at how to download this and actually update it ourselves manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this window, and something you should always carefully read before you download a free program, even the Adobe program, which is a very, very common program to have, is are they going to pile on any extra junk? And in this case, they say, gosh, you want to get the free McAfee Security Plan Plus? And it's like, no, I don't. So I'm going to uncheck mark that, because I certainly don't need that already. I've already got a good virus checker. And so then I'm going to go ahead and continue by downloading. So click on Download Now. Now, Adobe will bring up some instructions on what to do to actually download and install the reader. Okay, and just as it's kind of a general thing about downloading programs and installing them, what you're downloading to your computer is called an installation file. And the installation file is basically just a little file that once you've downloaded it to your desktop or to a folder that you can then go back and find, it's just a matter of double-clicking on that icon to start it up, and it will run what's called an installation program. So in the case of the Adobe download, what's going to happen here is I've started the download. It's going to download to my computer, and then it's going to come up and ask me where do I want to save it to. Okay. Okay, and my Save As window comes up. All right. And what I'm going to do in this case, just to, again, make this kind of a general instruction on how to download a program as well, I'm going to go ahead and save it right out onto my desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Desktop right here. Okay. It's already got the name of the file because, again, I'm just downloading this to my computer, a file that somebody else has already named. And so I'm going to click on Save. Now, because I'm using Google Chrome, I can see at the bottom of my screen when I've downloaded something, and I could actually start this little installation program now that it's downloaded just by clicking right here. But in case you're not using Google Chrome, I'm going to go back to the general way to do this, which is once you've got this downloaded, you can minimize your browser window and go directly to the file that you downloaded. In this case, I downloaded it to my desktop, and there is the file right there to start up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and double click on this file to start the installation. It comes up with a security warning. This is a Windows thing that's basically saying, hey, you just clicked on an executable file, a little installation file. Are you sure this is secure, and do you want to do this? Well, you are sure because you're the one that downloaded it. You know where the file comes from. So we're going to go ahead and click on Run here, and it will start up the Adobe Reader installation program. Now, with the Adobe program, and I kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the video, one of the very first things they say as you're installing the reader is they're saying security updates and product enhancements are periodically released for the Adobe Reader. Would you like to install updates automatically? And you can see here you've got a checklist, or you've got a list you can choose from, where you can either choose to install updates automatically, which is recommended. That basically means that whenever an update is available, it will just download it, it'll put it on your computer, and then notify you in the tray down here in the corner, the notification area, that an update was installed. So you don't have to do anything, you just let it happen. Or you can choose to download updates for me, but let me choose when to install them. That's when down in the corner in the notification area you'll get a message that will say something like, I've downloaded an update, it's available, do you want to install it? Okay. The third option is notify me, but let me choose when to download and install updates. And that would simply be, again, like the earlier one, but this time they don't even download it. They just let you know when an update is available, and then you can click and download of it. Or the fourth one is manually check for and install updates basically myself, which is what I just showed you how to do. And they say it's not recommended. My particular case, or in most cases I should say, I would recommend probably that you install the updates automatically for the Adobe Reader. Again, most of them deal with security, so you probably want to keep safe by letting it just go ahead and do it. If nothing else, maybe choose to download them automatically, but then let you choose when you want to install them. Okay, and I'll let you decide here what makes the most sense for your particular case. Now, for me personally, I am going to choose manually check for updates because I'm a geek and I like to kind of do things by hand. Okay, so I'm going to click on Next. Now it's going through and it's actually installing, downloading the rest of the Adobe Reader, and it's installing it. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for just a moment while it goes through this rather than make you wait. Okay, it just finished the installation, and I just kept you from having to see that progress bar go all across there, and you can see it says installation complete. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Finish. And it opens up the browser window and goes up to the Adobe website and says, great, you got it installed, good for you. Okay, and that's fine and dandy. I'm going to go ahead and X this closed. And you can see that out on my desktop I now have an icon for the Adobe Reader too. Now, I wanted to show you one other thing here. Now that we've gotten this installed, I'm going to go ahead and go down to my Start button. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and go into Add Remove Programs. And I'm using Windows 7, so I'm going to go ahead and type in just Add Remove, which will quickly take me and show me up in the menu Add Remove Programs. And this, of course, is where you go to uninstall programs that you no longer want. You can find this in the Control Panel in Windows. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, though. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Okay. And I'm going to let it populate itself here for a second. Okay, now that it's gotten all populated, I'm going to scroll down here and I want to show you, it says that in terms of the programs I have installed, the Adobe Reader 11 is now installed. Now, the reason I took you in here, I wanted you to notice it no longer says anything about the Adobe Reader 10 version that I showed you I had earlier. So, what my point here is that it actually replaces, by manually downloading it and installing it, it replaces the one that's out there already. So you don't have to worry about having 10 versions of the Adobe Reader program sitting on your computer if you decide to manually update it. Okay, so again, my point in showing you this is to show you that you first of all can manually update the Adobe Reader program yourself by simply going to Adobe, downloading it, and installing it. Probably what makes the most sense, though, is for you, when you download it, to let it do the automatic updates, or let it at least download and notify you when the update is available to install. If you haven't updated the Adobe Reader lately, it's a good time to do it. Again, there's been some security alerts out there for it, so it's probably a really good time for you to go ahead and update it. Well, that's going to be it for today. Again, my name is John Lortz. If you want to visit my website, it's www.discoverskills.com. You can always shoot me an email if you've got questions or comments. My email address is jlortz@discoverskills.com. And you're always welcome to visit my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Discover Skills, and I've got lots of how-to videos out there that you can take a look at. As always, you can always leave me comments, and I love to get thumbs up on the YouTube videos if you enjoy it. Again, my name is John Lortz, and that's going to do it for today, and I will see you in the next video.